What if I told you that the sportsbook app on your phone is basically just a fancy ATM interface? If you were trying to beat the house by analyzing stats on ESPN, is it better to look at the team's past performance? Or is it better to look at who actually wrote the price tag on the game? Most people think betting is about sports. It's not. It's about market dynamics. You think you're betting against FanDuel or DraftKings or Bet365. You aren't. You are betting against a global, automated copy-paste machine that you didn't even know existed. Today, we are stripping away the marketing. We are going to walk into the server room of the global betting industry. I'm going to show you how an odd is born in Asia, how it travels through Switzerland, why your bet doesn't move the line, and how hackers are exploiting the system right now. Welcome to Kalstrop. Let's look at the code. First, we have to kill a massive myth. The Vegas guy. You picture a guy in a suit, smoking a cigar, watching the game and deciding, I think the Chiefs should be -3. That guy is dead. He's been replaced by an algorithm. In the modern era, 99% of the sports books you see on TV, the ones with the celebrity commercials, they don't set their own odds. They are what we call soft books or retail books. They are marketing companies. Their job isn't to manage risk. Their job is to acquire customers. So if they don't set the line, who does? There is a hierarchy in this industry. At the very top, you have the market makers. These are the sharp books, places like Pinnacle, Circa, or the massive betting exchanges in Asia. These guys operate on a completely different business model. A retail book wants to ban winners. A sharp book? They need winners. They use a low-margin, high-volume model. They don't charge a high fee, sometimes less than 2%, because they need the smartest bettors in the world to play with them. Why? Because they need the price discovery. Before a line ever hits your screen, it lives in what we call the dark market. This is where the originators play. We aren't talking about guys selling pics on Instagram. We are talking about syndicates, professional groups, guys who have better weather data than the meteorologists, guys who know a tennis player's ankle is swollen before the player even tells his coach. Here is the workflow. An originator sees a raw opening line at a sharp book. Let's say Real Madrid at 2.50. They know the true probability is closer to 2.30. They don't bet 50 bucks, they bet 50,000. At a normal book, that account gets banned. At a sharp book, the trader sees that bet and says, okay, the sharks are feeding. They respect the money, they move the line. This process repeats until the money stops coming in. That is when the market has found equilibrium. This is the closing line value, or CLV. The line is now sharp, it's efficient. But here is the million-dollar question. How does that line get from a sharp book in Curacao or Singapore to your local betting app in New Jersey or London? This is the part nobody talks about, the feed providers. You might not know names like Betradar, Genius Sports, or Kambi, but these companies are the actual puppet masters of the industry. They are the B2B data giants. Think of them as the central nervous system. When a sharp book moves a line, these data providers scrape that change instantly. They package it into an API feed, a stream of data, and they sell that feed to thousands of soft books around the world. Your local bookie pays a monthly subscription fee to these providers. In exchange, they don't have to hire math geniuses or traders. They just plug in the cable. It's a global copy-paste economy. Imagine a whale slaps its tail in the ocean in Asia. That's the sharp money. A satellite picks up the wave. That's Betradar. And 5 seconds later, the water ripples in a pond in your backyard. That's your local sportsbook updating the odds. This is why you see the exact same odds on 10 different apps. They aren't copying each other. They are all reading from the same textbook. So, knowing this, let's talk about you. If you open your local app right now and bet $5,000 on an outcome, do you think the line will move? Probably not. In fact, the only thing that will change is your account status. You'll get flagged. Why? Because soft books segment their users. They profile you. If you aren't an originator, if you don't beat the closing line consistently, your money is classified as uninformed risk. The algorithm doesn't care what you think. It just takes your money, and if the liability gets too high, the sportsbook might lay off that risk by betting it themselves at a sharp book. But if an originator bets at a sharp book, that is classified as information. Money is information. When they bet, the API triggers, the global feed updates, the world changes. You are swimming in a pool where the water level is controlled by people you will never meet, using data you will never see. So the pre-match market is a fortress. It's guarded by math, syndicates, and massive data pipelines. But what happens when the whistle blows? What happens when the game goes live? That fortress has a back door. The entire global system relies on one thing: trusting the data feed. But what if the feed is lying? What if I told you that the live game you are watching on TV happened 15 seconds ago? If you are trying to bet on the next goal while watching the stream, is it better to trust your eyes? Or is it better to trust the guy standing in the stadium with a data tablet? Let's talk about how the system breaks. When a game goes in play, the human traders mostly step aside. The speed is too fast for human brains. It's all automated trading now. But an algorithm is blind. It can't see the game. It needs input. That input comes from a data scout. Right now, in stadiums all over the world, from the Premier League to the 3rd Division in Vietnam, there are people sitting in the stands with specialized tablets. They work for those B2B giants we talked about earlier. Here is the pipeline. A goal is scored. The scout taps "goal" on his tablet. This is time 0. That signal travels via 5G or stadium Wi-Fi to a server in London or Switzerland. That takes maybe 300 milliseconds. The server processes it and sends a lock command to every sportsbook API in the world. Your screen shows a padlock icon. Betting is suspended. The odds recalculate. The lock opens. The whole process takes less than 2 seconds. But your TV broadcast, or your illegal stream, that has a latency of 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds. The bookmaker is literally living in the future compared to you. This is why you can never beat the live market with just your eyes. You are betting on history. But here is the catch. The system trusts the scout. What happens if the scout lies? Or what if the scout is slower than someone else in the crowd? This is where court-siding comes in. Sharp bettors sit in the stadium with faster internet than the scout. They see the point in tennis or the corner kick in soccer, and they place the bet before the bookmaker's server locks the market. They are arbitraging the speed of light. But that's small time. Let's talk about the real heist. Let's talk about ghost games. In 2022, the industry faced one of its most embarrassing scandals: the fake Indian Cricket League. Scammers in Gujarat, India, rented a farm field. They hired 21 local laborers and farmers, paid them $5 a day, and dressed them up in professional cricket jerseys. They set up a camera, streamed it on YouTube, and added fake crowd noise effects from the internet. Why? To trick Russian bettors on Telegram. But here is the crazy part. The game ended up on major global betting sites. The data feed providers picked it up. The algorithm saw a live game and started offering odds. The scammers were communicating with the umpires via walkie-talkies. Hit a 4 now. Get out now. They were scripting the match in real time and betting on their own script. The system didn't verify reality. It just verified the data feed. The Indian cricket scam failed because the police raided the farm. It was physical. But we are approaching 2026, and the next threat won't need a farm. It won't need actors. Imagine this scenario. The deepfake Premier League. We know AI can now generate hyper-realistic video in real time. Hackers don't need to fake a stream for humans anymore. They need to fake the data stream for the algorithms. Here is the nightmare scenario keeping sportsbook CEOs awake at night. A syndicate hacks into a data feed provider's API credentials. Basically, they steal the digital ID of a scout. They create a purely digital, AI-generated tennis match or esports event. They broadcast this fake video on a Twitch or YouTube channel to give it proof of life. Then, they inject the match data directly into the global betting pipeline. Player A wins set 1. The global copy-paste machine? It doesn't have eyes. It just sees the code. Sharpbooks, softbooks, retail apps, they all accept the data. They take the bets. The syndicate bets millions across hundreds of accounts on an outcome they have pre-coded. The system settles the bets. The money moves. And the game never happened. The betting industry is built on a chain of trust. If you break the link between the physical event and the digital data, the vault is wide open. So, why am I telling you this? Why expose the wiring? Because if you are betting blindly, you are the product. You are feeding a machine that is faster than you, smarter than you, and structurally rigged against you. But the machine has cracks. The originators know how to find them. The sharps know how to track the money flow. They don't watch the ball, they watch the data. At Kalstrop, we don't promise to predict the future. We promise to show you the present, the real present. We analyze the alpha signals. We track the money flow from the sharp books before it hits the soft books. We give you the same tools the professionals use to navigate this matrix. We believe in transparency. We believe in player advocacy. If you want to stop being a gambler and start being an analyst, join us. Click the link below. We're giving you $25 in starter credit to try the platform. Test the models. See the data. The house always wins until you learn how to count the cards. Welcome to the other side.